I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we told you this was going to happen. Some of you out there say, I don't know why you guys keep fighting battles over COVID masking and everything else. Move on to other issues. And what I'm here to say is they're not going to let go of COVID. They aren't. We are going to have to kick their ass so bad in November that they don't have any other options, because they are going to hold on to COVID with every fiber of their being, and COVID restrictions are not going away. Even if they temporarily disappear, they're always there looming in the background. Dr. Fauci is the villain that is hiding underneath your bed. He's the boogeyman. He's not ever going away. He's going to pop up Smurf-like with a mask on, yelling at you no matter what. And I hate to say it, but if you're listening in the Philadelphia area, they just announced in the last 15 minutes that they are bringing back their mask mandate. And now the question is going to be, Buck, will Washington, D.C. follow? Will New York City follow? L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, where we have a new affiliate. Sorry, Seattle people, to bring you this news. When left-wing cities start to make a move like this, what has been the pattern is other left-wing cities follow right along. Washington, D.C., just a little bit south of Philly. New York City, just a little bit north. The mayors of those places, Bowser in D.C. and Adams in New York City, Buck, you know, they get jealous of their restrictive counterpart in Philly.
It's also, they know that by comparison, right, if you're London Breed, if you're Eric Adams, if you're Lori Lightfoot, or what's
Garcetti, and I think still in L.A.
We spend a lot of time.
We got a lot of mayors now.
Yeah, but Garcetti, if you're any of these mayors, and after the Philly mayor shuts down, or I shouldn't say shuts down, but implements masking again, it's like, hey, do you not take the virus seriously? You know, that then becomes the logic of the position, which is why the dominoes for the Democrats for this lunacy keep falling, because by comparison, if you've been a lockdowner all along, why take the heat now when others are already taking more restrictive measures?
And they continue with all the ridiculous lies. We just played you Psaki trying to blame Vladimir Putin for inflation in the United States. Well, the Putin price hike, as she said. Also, Kamala Harris wasn't wearing her mask indoors. And as with other Democrats who are caught violating their own rules, there's always an excuse. In this case, it was a really historic moment, guys. Remember the photos get taken? Oh, well, it was just for a photo. All of the lies continue to build. The COVID hypocrisy doesn't die. Here's Psaki defending Kamala.
You said on Friday that the vice president was masked indoors all day, but the White House tweeted a video showing her standing over the president without a mask on. Can you explain what happened there?
Well, I would say that the vice president and the president and all of us abide by what the CDC protocols are. It was an emotional day. It was a historic day. And there were moments when she was not wearing a mask inside, including in a photo. But she was wearing it 99.9% of the time.
Clay, excuse me, the virus knows that, like, when really important people are taking, like, really important photos, the virus is like, hold on a second, like, I don't want to mess that up.
I mean, imagine knowing that every moment, that is her answer, by the way. Every moment in that public availability, there is going to be footage to reflect whether you had a mask on or not. So when Psaki lied and said, oh, Kamala Harris had a mask on the entire time, and then all you have to do is just go, well, actually, look at this photo, look at this video. It's the willfulness of the lies. They are not afraid of COVID, right? They aren't afraid. Even Biden, who probably should be afraid because he's 79 years old. Now, I will give Biden credit here. If they're being honest, how is it, Buck, that every other White House official but Biden has gotten COVID? Does Biden have the greatest immune system on the planet? It's kind of ridiculous. Now, Psaki's tested positive twice. It feels like every other White House official has tested positive, not even once, multiple times, and somehow Biden still has not tested positive. But if anybody in the White House were going to be nervous about COVID, it should be Joe Biden, who's 79 years old and statistically would be at a far higher rate of danger than almost anyone else in politics, other than Nancy Pelosi, by the way, who already has recovered from COVID and had no issues whatsoever.
I just think that there's also in the background of all this, Clay, looking at what I said before, I really mean the Democrats are not going to go down without the dirtiest fight possible in this midterm. So everyone needs to be – this is why we keep saying it's looking good, folks, it's looking good, because we want you to be motivated. But they're going to do everything they can to pull out at least enough key races that they can say that it was not a repudiation, it wasn't that big. Remember, as Clay's been saying, we need a reckoning, a red wedding, an absolute butt-kicking. Can I say the A word?
We could say ass-kicking. We need an ass-kicking, Buck.
Oh, well, hello. Yeah. Okay. An ass-kicking. Ooh, that felt good. We need that this fall, or else, even when I do the Bill Maher show, I know I can curse, I can even F-bomb, and I'm like, I can't. Not with the people listening. And then, of course, off air, I'm like, bleepity bleep bleep. Anyway, we need that. But, Clay, we also need to understand how COVID plays into the strategy. And I think that as long as they keep some of the COVID rituals, because that's what they are in place, you're going to see pushes for mail-in balloting. You're going to see pushes for expanded voter times. All the different games they played the last time to give them an edge, they're going to do the exact same stuff. They're trying to pass, H.R. 1. I mean, they've tried to codify it all in the law.
Right.
But they'll use emergency measures where they have a Democrat governor in a purple state, et cetera, to basically try to tilt the playing field to them again, to cheat but within the rules or within plausible rules. You know what I mean?
The gray area.
Yeah,
the gray area of the law is what they're going to try to take advantage of. And there's a great piece, by the way, out today saying, and I know we got a lot of listeners in each of these 6 states. I'm going to try to get it right. We'll talk about it maybe a little bit tomorrow because we had so many stories to hit today. I got a list here. We barely got through half of them. We got so much going on right now. The 2022 election, Buck, and the 2024 elections going to come down to 6 states. That's it, right? There are basically 6 states that are going to determine whether or not we have a Democratic or Republican Senate, whether we have what happens in the South, and who wins the presidential election in 2024. And those 6 states, not surprisingly, a lot of you can spend time. You've thought about it. You've analyzed it. But these 6 states, everybody who's listening out there, everybody needs to make a reckoning in 2022. But if you live in these 6 states, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Nevada, if you live in those 6 states right now, you are going to decide the trajectory of our country in 2022 and 2024. Now, everybody else in the other 44 states, you guys are going to have a substantial impact as well, and it's important for you to go out and vote. But those are the 6 states that are going to decide Congress in November and the presidential election in 2024 at the most important level. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada. We love all of you, but we particularly love you if you live in those 6 states because you are going to be deciding a lot.
Clay is picking favorites right now.
I'm picking favorites right now. I don't like to pick my favorites, but if you live in those 6 states, you matter a little bit more. And by the way, we're number 1 in Phoenix. We're number 1 in Milwaukee, and we're number 1 in Las Vegas. Those are 3 big markets that are going to have a massive impact. Georgia, huge audience, Michigan and Pennsylvania as well. But those 3 big markets, you guys listening right now, get ready to matter on a different level. We got to get people out to the polls.